Hello, and a warm, peaceful welcome to Dreamy Facts channel. Have you ever suddenly woken up in the middle of the night? The room is dark. The world is asleep. But your eyes are wide open, and your mind is racing. You glance at the clock, it's 3 a.m. That strange, lonely hour. Where worries feel heavier. Where silence feels louder. Where you wonder, why does this keep happening? What if I told you, this isn't a mistake? Not a flaw in you, or some mysterious curse. But a quiet, natural check-in written into your biology, an ancient rhythm your brain still follows, even while you sleep. Tonight, we're going to explore exactly that, the gentle science behind your 3 a.m. awakenings. No scary terms. No complicated theories. Just calm, clear understanding, so the next time you find yourself awake at this hour, you won't feel anxious. You'll feel curious. So wherever you are, get comfortable. Let your shoulders relax. Feel your breath coming in and going out. There's nothing to fix here. Nothing to solve. Just listen. And let's begin. Your core body temperature naturally begins to rise after 3 a.m., preparing you for morning wakefulness, and this subtle shift can sometimes cross the threshold into consciousness. Throughout the night, your body temperature drops to its lowest point, usually around 3 to 4 a.m., as part of your circadian rhythm. This dip is a key signal for deep sleep. But as the nadir passes, the very beginnings of the upward climb back to daytime temperature can act as a faint internal nudge. It's not an alarm bell, but a gentle, thermal tide turning, and sometimes, it brings you to the shore of wakefulness a few hours before dawn. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, follows a circadian pattern that starts its gradual increase in the very early morning hours, with the rise often beginning around 2 to 3 a.m. This cortisol awakening response is essential for providing the energy and alertness you need to start your day. However, if this rise is too sharp, or if your sleep is already light, this biochemical sunrise happening inside your body can act like a dimmer switch being turned up too quickly, illuminating the landscape of your mind before the outside world shows any light. You complete your longest, most restorative period of deep non-REM sleep in the first half of the night, making the second half lighter and more prone to brief awakenings. The architecture of sleep is not uniform. The first two sleep cycles are dominated by deep, slow-wave sleep, which is harder to be roused from. By the time you reach the cycle that spans the pre-dawn hours, your sleep has naturally become shallower, with more time spent in the more fragile stages of light sleep and REM. In this lighter sleep, the internal or external nudges that you would have slept through earlier can now bring you briefly to the surface. The neurotransmitter adenosine, which builds up in your brain all day to create sleep pressure, has been largely cleared by the early morning hours, reducing the depth of your sleep drive. Adenosine is the chemical embodiment of sleep need. You fall asleep when its levels peak. During the deep sleep of the night's first half, your brain vigorously clears this adenosine. By 3 a.m., levels are significantly lower. The sleep pressure that held you underwater in deep rest has lessened, making it easier to bob up to the surface of wakefulness. Your bladder, while not full, may send a subtle signal that is processed as a priority check by a brain in light sleep, especially as you age. The sensation isn't urgent, but in the quiet, sensitive state of early morning sleep, the brain's monitoring systems may flag it for review. It's less about physical need and more about the brain conducting a routine systems check, a scan of the body's status that, in the silence of night, becomes a conscious event. The brain's glymphatic system, which cleans metabolic waste during deep sleep, is most active in the first half of the night. By 3 a.m., this intense cleaning cycle may be winding down, changing the brain's internal state. Imagine a building's nightly cleaning crew finishing their loudest work. The relative quiet that follows their most active period can itself be a change that the sleeping brain notices. The shift from a state of active, deep restoration to a different mode can be a subtle transition point where consciousness flickers. A drop in blood sugar, nocturnal hypoglycemia, even a minor one, can trigger the release of adrenaline and cortisol as a protective measure, pulling you from sleep. Your liver works to maintain stable blood sugar overnight. If levels dip slightly, perhaps due to diet, stress, or your individual metabolism, your body may respond as if to a threat, releasing hormones designed to mobilize energy. The first sleep, second sleep historical model suggests that segmented sleep was once the norm, with a period of wakefulness in the middle of the night for quiet reflection, prayer, or intimacy. Historian Roger Ekirch's work found that before artificial lighting, people commonly slept in two distinct shifts. They would have a first sleep after dusk, wake for an hour or two around midnight, then have a second sleep until morning. Your 3 a.m. awakening may be a ghost of this ancient rhythm, a biphasic pattern etched in your biology, surfacing when your sleep is fragile. Your amygdala, the brain's fear center, has a heightened sensitivity during the lighter sleep stages of the early morning, making you more likely to interpret neutral stimuli as threats. In the depths of early night sleep, the prefrontal cortex, the rational moderator, is offline. But in later, lighter sleep, the amygdala can become active without its full moderating influence. A distant car door, the house settling, or even an abstract worry can be processed with an emotional charge, startling you awake with a sense of vague anxiety. REM sleep periods become longer and more intense in the second half of the night, and the vivid dreams or heightened brain activity of REM can itself be a bridge to waking. The brain in REM is almost as active as when awake. The narrative intensity of a dream, its emotional content, or simply the shift in brain state from REM into a momentary pause can be enough to cross the thin threshold into full consciousness, leaving you awake in the aftermath of a dissolving dream world. A decrease in melatonin production after its peak around 2 to 3 a.m. reduces your sleep maintenance power, as this hormone's primary role is to help you fall asleep, not necessarily stay asleep. Melatonin is the key that opens the gate to sleep. Its levels rise in the evening, peak in the middle of the night, and then fall toward morning. As its concentration declines in those early hours, one of the key chemical forces holding you in sleep begins to ebb, making the architecture of your sleep more porous to awakenings. The suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, your brain's master clock in the hypothalamus, begins to send stronger, wake-promoting, signals to other brain regions in preparation for dawn. The SCN doesn't just track time, it proactively orchestrates your transition to wakefulness. Hours before daylight, it starts to gently inhibit the sleep-promoting neurons in the ventrolateral preoptic nucleus, VLPO, and stimulate arousal centers. This long, slow ramp-up to morning can have minor fluctuations or pulses that manifest as a temporary window of wakefulness. Low levels of ambient noise are at their most perceptible in the dead of night, and your brain, in light sleep, may process this relative silence or a single isolated sound as noteworthy. The blanket of sound that covers the day is gone. In that profound quiet, the refrigerator's hum, a far-off train, or the absence of familiar daytime noise becomes a significant data point. A brain optimized to detect changes in its environment may tag this auditory landscape as different enough to warrant a shift to alertness. The neurotransmitter serotonin, which promotes calm and stability, follows a circadian rhythm and is typically at its lowest point in the early morning hours, potentially reducing the brain's resilience against waking. Serotonin contributes to the steady, calm background mood that facilitates uninterrupted rest. At 3 a.m., your brain's serotonin, a key mood-calming chemical, hits its lowest nightly level. Minor sleep apnea events or changes in breathing patterns, like periodic breathing, are more common in the lighter sleep of the early morning and can cause microarousals you may not remember, or one that fully wakes you. As muscle tone decreases in REM and light sleep, the airway can become more collapsible. A slight restriction in airflow, a snore, or a change in breathing rhythm can trigger a brainstem reflex that briefly increases arousal to restore normal breathing, sometimes just enough to bring you to full wakefulness. The brain consolidates emotional memories and processes anxieties, particularly during REM sleep in the later part of the night, which can sometimes bring stressful material too close to the surface of consciousness. The very process that helps you file away and make sense of the day's emotional events involves a kind of neural rehearsal. If you went to bed with unresolved stress or anxiety, this processing can manifest in dream content or brain activity that mirrors that anxiety, creating a feedback loop that pulls you into a worried wakefulness. Your heart rate and blood pressure, which dip during deep sleep, begin their gradual pre-dawn rise, and this cardiovascular shift can be a physiological cue that interrupts sleep. The autonomic nervous system starts preparing your body for the demands of the day well before you need to get up. This preparation includes increasing heart rate and blood pressure. For some, this transition isn't perfectly smooth. A slight jump or change in rhythm can be sensed by the brain as a system update, worthy of conscious attention. As the night goes on, pressure builds on your body. During lighter morning sleep, this discomfort can gently nudge you to turn over. This small movement often happens in the fragile moments between sleep cycles, and sometimes, you simply drift awake instead of back to sleep. A dry mouth or slight dehydration from nighttime breathing can trigger a wakefulness signal, as the brain prioritizes hydration for basic cellular function. Breathing through your mouth, even slightly, during sleep increases moisture loss. The resulting subtle change in the mucosa of your mouth and throat can be registered by the brain as a homeostatic imbalance, a need for water. In the sensitive state of light sleep, this can be enough to prompt a conscious awakening to address the need. The pineal gland, which produces melatonin, is also influenced by geomagnetic and environmental factors. Some theories suggest subtle pre-dawn changes in the Earth's electromagnetic field could influence its activity and, thus, sleep stability. While not fully proven, it's a fascinating frontier. The pineal gland contains magnetite crystals and may be sensitive to geomagnetic variations. The quiet hours before dawn are a time of specific atmospheric and geomagnetic shifts, which, in sensitive individuals, might introduce a tiny destabilizing signal into the sleep-regulating system. Orexin, hypocretin, a neurotransmitter that promotes wakefulness and stability of arousal, is naturally suppressed during sleep but begins to fluctuate as morning approaches. Instability in this system can lead to brief awakenings. Orexin neurons are the steadfast guardians of sustained wakefulness. To sleep, they must be quieted. As the brain prepares to wake, these neurons begin to fire more. The transition from full suppression to active firing is not always a clean switch. Brief, sporadic bursts of orexin activity could open a window to wakefulness. Your brain's default mode network, DMN, associated with self-referential thought and mind-wandering, becomes active during brief awakenings and, once activated, can quickly spin a web of worries that prevents a swift return to sleep. If you wake for any reason, the DMN often kicks in automatically. This is the network responsible for your sense of self, past reflection, and future planning. In the vulnerable, suggestible state of 3 a.m., its activation often defaults to problem-solving and worrying, hijacking the quiet moment and turning it into a cascade of thoughts that locks you into wakefulness. A slight drop in carbon dioxide levels due to changes in breathing patterns during light sleep can alter blood pH and be detected by the brainstem, prompting a slight arousal to normalize breathing. Breathing is less regular in light sleep and REM. You may unconsciously hyperventilate slightly, blowing off more carbon dioxide. This lowers blood carbon dioxide levels, making the blood more alkaline. The brainstem's chemoreceptors detect this shift and can trigger an arousal to reset breathing to a more stable pattern, a delicate act of respiratory homeostasis. The brain undergoes cyclical changes in synchronization every 90 to 120 minutes, ultradian rhythms, not just in sleep stages, but in overall arousal level. 3 a.m. often coincides with a natural up phase in this rhythm. Beyond the 90-minute sleep cycle, there are longer, subtler rhythms governing alertness. A natural peak in a 2-hour arousal rhythm might converge with the light sleep phase, creating a perfect point for the curtain of sleep to briefly part. It's a harmonic of biological timing aligning to create a window of wakefulness. From an evolutionary perspective, light sleep in the pre-dawn hours allowed our ancestors to perform security checks on their surroundings, to listen for predators, check on the tribe, and assess the coming weather, before the deep vulnerability of sleep resumed. This theory posits that these awakenings were adaptive. In the dangerous night, it was advantageous to surface periodically, especially when sleep was lightest, to ensure all was safe. Your 3 a.m. wakefulness may be a vestigial sentinel reflex, a hardwired call to check your modern cave before dawn. Core body temperature is regulated by blood flow to the extremities. As the body begins to warm itself toward morning, increased blood flow to the hands and feet can sometimes be sensed as a physical change that draws attention. You may not think of your hands getting warmer as a disruptive event, but in the hyper-attuned state of light sleep, any change in the internal sensory map is noted. The returning warmth to your skin as blood vessels dilate in preparation for morning can be the novel sensation that brings you to consciousness. Levels of the hormone prolactin, which promotes sleep and is particularly high during sleep, begin to decline in the early morning hours, reducing one of the chemical signals that maintain sleep continuity. Prolactin isn't just for lactation, it has a potent sleep-promoting effect. Its levels rise after sleep onset and remain high through the night, supporting sustained sleep. As its levels start to fall in the pre-dawn, one of the pillars of sleep maintenance is slowly removed, making the sleep state less stable. The brain's thalamus, which acts as a sensory gatekeeper during sleep, may become slightly more permeable in the early morning, allowing internal thoughts or faint external sounds to pass through more easily into awareness. In deep sleep, the thalamus largely blocks signals from both the senses and the thinking cortex. In lighter sleep, this gate is ajar. By the early morning, the thalamic filter may be at its most porous, letting through the internal noise of your own thoughts or memories, which then become the content of your wakefulness. Cortisol doesn't rise in a smooth curve, it's released in pulsatile bursts. A stronger than average pulse in the early morning cortisol awakening response can act like a biochemical tap on the shoulder. The rise in cortisol is not a steady incline but a series of bursts from the adrenal glands. If one of these pulses, timed in the quiet of 3 a.m., is particularly strong, the corresponding jolt of alertness can be enough to break the thread of sleep, leaving you awake with the hormonal signature of a new day, hours too early. Think of it this way: your brain is not broken. It is, in fact, working exactly as designed by millions of years of evolution. Long before artificial light, before alarms and smartphones, humans slept in two shifts, first sleep and second sleep, with a quiet, mindful gap in between. That 3 a.m. wakefulness you experience may very well be a gentle echo of that primal pattern, a built-in pause in the night meant for stillness, reflection, or simply being. The real problem isn't waking up. It's the second arrow we shoot at ourselves, the worry, the frustration, the clock-watching anxiety that screams, "I should be asleep." That anxiety triggers cortisol and adrenaline, the very hormones designed to keep you alert. In fighting the wakefulness, you accidentally teach your brain that 3 a.m. is a time for panic, not peace. But here is the quiet truth. Your body is doing something profoundly intelligent. It's conducting nocturnal maintenance. Balancing hormones, filing memories, cooling your core temperature, even gently testing your surroundings in a state of light, protective awareness. This isn't insomnia. This is your nervous system's nightly vigil. So tonight, if it happens again, try something different. Don't fight it. Don't judge it. Just notice the soft weight of your blanket, the rhythm of your breath, in and out, the stillness of the world outside. You are safe. You are resting, even if you're not asleep. This wakefulness is not a theft of your sleep, it is a part of it, a chapter in the long, quiet conversation between your body and the night. Meet this moment with curiosity, not fear. Let go of the story that you're doing it wrong. In that softening, in that acceptance, you may find that sleep returns not as a struggle, but as a natural tide, slow, gentle, and inevitable. After all, your brain has been following these rhythms longer than cities have existed, longer than clocks were invented, longer than the word insomnia was ever spoken. Trust it. It knows how to rest. Even if, for now, rest looks like lying awake in the dark, perfectly at peace. Sleep well. Or if not yet, rest well. However it comes.